Welcome to episode 132 of the 2-Minute Warning, Buccaneers and Chiefs recap. Kansas City Chiefs just beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-24. Tough game for both teams. I really came in expecting the Bucs had a chance. Obviously they did, only losing by 3, but I really thought they'd come out and win this game. However, they did show progress compared to how they've been playing throughout the season. Stat line: Patrick Mahomes, 462 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Tom Brady, 345 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Right there alone between those two guys, you could kind of see the difference maker in the game. Tyreek Hill, one of his best career days, if not the best career day for him. 13 catches, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a hell of a fantasy player this week. Probably had 50, 60 points, no doubt. Gronk, not too bad on the Bucs side. 6 catches, 106 yards, pretty efficient there. Mike Evans, 3 catches, 50 yards with 2 touchdowns. That's pretty efficient to score 3 catches and then 2 scores out of them. Then, of course, Travis Kelce, best tight end in the league for the Chiefs. 8 receptions, 82 yards, very efficient as well. So, what does this game really mean? Obviously, you see the Bucs kind of... If you watch the game for the beginning, the Chiefs came out, guns a-blazing, went up 17-0 in the very first quarter. I think at the end of the first quarter, Brady had like 35 passing yards and Mahomes had 230. So just based off that quarter, you would think the game is over. At this pace, the Bucs have 0 chance and you might as well go home, turn the TV off now. However, the Bucs slowly and gradually fought back. Obviously, there were a couple plays that killed them. I'm sure if you guys watched, you saw the personal foul call on JPP when he hit Patrick Mahomes' face. Obviously, it's a shitty call. Obviously, it's the right call, but it was heartbreaking because that call ended up making the Chiefs punt, but it took about 2 minutes off the clock, which you could tell at the very end of the video is very crucial to the Bucs. If they had more time, they could have put together a game-winning drive, but it is what it is. Overall, the Bucs offense was slow. Like I said in the beginning, if you just saw even the first quarter alone, even really the first half, they struggled, but they did show progression. Tom Brady got the deep ball threat going. That's kind of what led to the 2 scores between both of Mike Evans' catches. It was Bucs were down 27-10, but I believe in the fourth quarter, they were faced at a 4th and 3 in field goal range, and they really faced a decision. We're down 17. Do we kick the field goal and go down 2 scores, or go for it all because Patrick Mahomes is on the other side of the ball and go for it all and just try and make it only 10 points? 4th and 3, boom. 30-yard bomb to Mike Evans. Great play by Bruce Arians, Mike Evans, and Tom Brady, all of them to put it together. But obviously it wasn't enough. My total verdict for this is that the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They did basically what we knew they were going to do. Patrick Mahomes, 462 yards. That's insane. Even for him, any guy to throw 400 yards is a hell of a stat line. But for the Bucs, so my point is the Chiefs will probably on pace to go back-to-back unless I'm the Steelers or the Bills or the Colts or the Titans. The AFC is very stacked, but at my current assumption, I think the Chiefs are going to go back-to-back, at least get to the Super Bowl again. And that the Bucs, obviously, they're now, I believe, 7-5, I want to say. That obviously hurts. And they're obviously out of the division, likely, with the Saints only having 2 losses, I believe, and having a head-to-head. So the Bucs are clearly out for the division, but if somehow they can take the 5th seed and they end up playing the Washington Redskins football team, or the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, whoever wins that, they'll be fine first round of the playoffs. Of course, they'll make the playoffs, in my opinion. And then somehow they match up after Washington to Seattle or the Packers, where it's just Aaron Rodgers and just Russell Wilson kind of on their teams. Obviously, they got some weapons, but they're not stacked, and they're kind of, the quarterback's giving them a float. I do think the Bucs will get a 2nd round win. But really, the ultimatum right here is, can the Bucs end up beating Drew Brees in the playoffs? And truthfully, I still think they can, even based off the past 2 games where they got smoked in the second game. But I just think as the season goes on, the Bucs are continuing to get better. The other teams, like the Saints, obviously they might be the best team in the NFC East, but I don't see them growing, just staying at the top while the Bucs are slowly getting there. So I do think the Bucs are showing potential and growth to get to the Super Bowl and possibly play the Chiefs again in another matchup. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are both 2-2 against each other, 2 wins, 2 losses against each other. So Super Bowl could define the final goal if it comes down to that in the end of Mahomes' career. That's definitely a stack to consider. But final verdict, Chiefs are heading there to the Super Bowl again, in my opinion, and I think the Bucs have the potential to get there. And if I had to put my money on it, who's coming out of the NFC, it would probably be the Saints, but I'm not going to be surprised by any means if Tom Brady and Bruce Arians gets it together. I'm rooting for him. 2-minute warning.